Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Stacy.
And we make Trashy Divorces, everybody's favorite good podcast about bad relationships.
Looking for something true crimey without the gore or the body count?
We've been churning out funny, feisty, feminist episodes since 2019. So if you're looking to put some scandalous stories told well into your ears this summer, check out Trashy Divorces wherever you listen to podcasts.
Trust us, we've covered someone you love.
Or someone you love to hate.
Hey, I'm a medium, and this podcast is for those who wish to understand the wonderful world of spirit. Where do we go when we die? I'll share stories of mine as a medium and other mediums in our journeys, plus you will hear real-life client readings so that you can know without any doubt that your loved ones in spirit are around you all the time. I'm Jen, and this is the Singing Medium Podcast. Welcome back, you guys. It is the episode that I talk about. It's my birthday. Just kidding, it's not my birthday yet, but by the time you hear the next episode, my birthday will be over. And if you know me, I celebrate my birthday. I used to do it for a whole month, but now I do it for like a week. So next week is my birthday week. And the reason why I'm talking about my birthday so much is because, number one, I love it. And it doesn't matter how old I get. Except for when I turned 39. No. 40. No. There was a year that I was freaking out about my birthday. Oh, I know, 31. 31 I freaked out about. 30, when I turned 30, it was okay. 31, I freaked out. I don't know what happened at 31, but I did not want that birthday at all. And now it's birthday 48. So I guess that was a long time ago. So I'm rambling, but that's because I want so much to talk about. So much to talk about. And let's get into it right now. But here is the agenda. The agenda, I use quotations for that, for this episode. And I hope you're going to be excited about this because I'm going to talk about and share my manifestation. So this is a manifestation / birthday episode. And manifestation is kind of controversial, I feel like, because I feel like some people really believe in the power of manifestation. It used to have, like, maybe still right now, but it used to have a very strong quality to that word, or what's the word I'm looking for? Popularity, or, and people were not really fully grasping the concept of what manifestation is. And then you hear people saying, well, there's no such thing as manifesting because what about someone who, doesn't have a home or has no money or always has bad luck, everything bad happens to them, right? So there can be a little bit of controversy attached to this word, but I don't want you to focus on the word because it's just semantics. There's a whole gamut of things, and reprogramming of your mind and your body and the way your body reacts to things, and your reactions, your entire belief system. So just take it with a grain of salt. And we're going to use the word manifesting right now because that's the word I'm going to use. Okay. And so I'll tell you about the manifestation of the puppy. I think it was only like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Where I told you guys that I really, if someone gave me this brownie red teddy bear looking poodle dog, I would freak out. Well, I'm freaking out because I don't know what happened this week, but it happened so fast. I don't even know how this happened. Now let's go into a vision board. I had a vision board I made. I make one every January. I know you may not believe in vision boards. That is fine. This is like a personal preference because I do believe that they work. So I made one in January, and I'll probably make another one. I'll make another one this January. And I didn't print it out, or I didn't use, it was all on Canva. So I just clicked and dragged some photos on Canva. into this template and just dropped them in there. And one of the things that I had put on my vision board for 2022 was this little dog. Okay. Now I remember in the summertime, I don't know if I was doing a meditation or what, but I was like, I had this feeling that this dog was coming into my life and I felt like it was going to be soon. You know, you just get like a feeling about something, but this is something otherworldly kind of feeling. It was like, I just felt like his presence was coming into my life. And this was a surprise, the timing of this. So before I get into the story of how I got Rudolph/Rudy into my life within like 3 days out of nowhere, I want to give you some quick announcements or some news, some Gen news. And then at the end of this podcast episode, I promise I have been saving up a list of psychic predictions because I'm saving them for what I want to do is like at the mid-December, I guess. I want to do a year ahead forecast and I want to give you all of the brand new predictions that I have. So I'm saving them up, but I'm going to go onto my list here and I'm going to pick one of them and I'm going to share with you at the end. Some of them are, as you know, they're a little bit crazy sometimes, but I'm going to give that to you anyways. I'll pick one of them off my notes here because I do keep them on my notes on my Apple phone. And so that's going to be at the end of this episode. But first I want to talk about two things. Just a reminder that mediumship classes begin in January. Medium level 1 is almost full. Thank you for signing up. And then medium 2 has lots of room. So 2nd degree mediumship, whatever that means. If you're a brand new newbie to mediumship, I wouldn't recommend. But if you've had some classes in the past, or you feel like you kind of know what you're doing and you've been doing this your whole life and it comes very naturally to you, you're welcome to take medium level 2. I recommend that anyways. So those 2 classes are available to sign up on the website. You do have to go, here's 2 ways how to do this. The first way is to go on Instagram, elevate.hersoul, and go click the link in Linktree. And if you click on that medium 1 class, you go in there, it's on the website. You can just go ahead and click that. The other way is, I don't know why I do this all the time because it's the easiest way for me to get onto my website. I don't know why. Or a booking system when people are asking questions about what date is available. I always type in Elevate Her Soul booking. So if you Google Elevate Her Soul booking, I need to get my website up to date. And you click Elevate Her Soul booking or Google that, it goes straight to where you can book everything. Okay? So everything will be there. Gift certificate, mediumship classes, and then I'm going to turn this off, like I'm going to turn off the switch like right now. So if you're listening to this, you can wait till next week, next Wednesday, I'll launch it again. But I did a pre-sale for my birthday celebration. So every time my birthday comes around, I always do giveaways or I do a big discount on readings. So my mediumship readings are quite an investment, but they were only $99. And people was like, woohoo. People were like, woohoo, this is great stuff. And so thank you guys to all who booked one. However, I'm turning it off the website right now. And then you guys can do it again on my birthday. Okay, so if you missed it, don't worry. If you don't want to wait, you can go ahead and grab regular price. The thing with that is I think someone was asking too, like they didn't see me warn everybody that I was going to put them on sale. And they, like 2 days before they booked a full price reading. And I just want to say that I feel like that was for a reason because I always have this thing about discounting my readings. And I only did it because it was my birthday. Because I feel like, I know we could go into about money and that value, but I'm not going to do that. But I feel like the value that you receive energetically and emotionally and personally in your life to help you in your life, I feel like it's a good match, if that makes sense. Okay? So I'm not saying that if you pay $99, it's not the same. You're still going to get the same quality. But I feel like that for me, if you think about it, if you take something that costs more, it just has that feeling for some reason. Maybe it's a program, whatever. Just like you feel like you get more value out of it. And that's just the thing. It's just the thing that I'm bringing up right now because I feel like it's worth it. To me, if I really needed some help and someone was, really good at their job, I would want to pay extra to make sure that I got something really, really valuable that I could hold on to for many years and, really help change the trajectory of my life. So that being said, next Wednesday, you guys can have it really quickly for about 24 hours. for $99, and I don't do it very often because I swore like 6 months ago I would never ever drop the prices. Anyways, let's move on to the episode and let's get started on the story of Rudolph the dog. Okay, so this just happened. I mentioned it happened very quickly. He'd been on my vision board, and even before the vision board, this dog, I have wanted a purse dog my entire life. Like, it's kind of like the Jeep, right? I always wanted a Jeep my entire life since I was old enough to know that Jeeps are cool. And one time I got, like, I think I was 16, I was just learning to drive, and I think I was driving my parents' Tempo, and their red Tempo, and I went to Grand Bend, and I think I saw like a Jeep like to the left of me when I'm supposed to be looking straight ahead. A Jeep caught my eye at the gas station. I'm like, oh my god, look, a Jeep! Bang! And I smashed it and I got in a car accident. And so I've always wanted a Jeep. So speaking of manifesting, you guys know the story about how I manifested my Jeep, and I did that with law of attraction. That's when I sat for I think it only took 5 days to manifest that Jeep. I remember sitting with like a happy song, played it 3 or 4 times on my headphones. I fully focused for like 15 minutes straight of the feeling, and I would see it in my mind's eye. I saw the Jeep symbol on the and then it all happened really fast too. So I wasn't doing that with Rudy the dog, but here's how this happened. So I went and got my hair done. My hair did on Friday, and I go to Orangeville to get my hair done, which is, if you don't have any context to that, it's like 90 minutes from my new town. And I'm from Orangeville, right? So Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. Those of you listening somewhere else, welcome, by the way. And I'm just sitting there, and all the dyes on my hair, I'm covering up my grays. And I just had this overwhelming feeling like you need to go online and check for your dog. And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't been able to find my dog for less than 5 G's. So, like, I don't want to spend that much money on my teacup poodle. So this better be good. And I remember scrolling down, I Googled teacup poodles, and this website came up, and the thing said urgent on it. I was like, I'm like, what is this? So I clicked on urgent, and like, dude, this dog was on here, and it was like not as much money as it was supposed to be. And I was like, oh my God. So I was inspired, that spirit energy of like, just message this person and see what happens. I'm like, all right. So I message, yep, he's available. And when you want to come see him, I'm like, okay, how about Sunday night or Sunday morning? Yep, no problem. And so Sunday morning, this is like 2 days later, go visit this dog. And I was like, oh man, this is freaking cute. And he was so happy. Like, no, he didn't bark, no sound, wagging his little bum. He has a yellow sweater on it, which I didn't even realize was like my brand color until someone pointed out on Instagram. This little tiny sweater on him, so happy, and he was so chill. I'm like, okay, so I put a deposit on him. Like, okay, gotta go get some stuff first. And then picked him up last night. And now he's part of our family. And I always wanted a dog that I can put in my coat, and like his little head pokes out, you know, like people would walk around the mall. I'd be like, I want a dog like that so bad. Or like they'd have them in their purse, and I was like, I always wanted that dog. And then I'd be so jealous because someone else already had the dog, and now I have the dog. So I'm so happy. And this, every year for my birthday, I get myself a present. Now, normally I don't spend that much money and get like a animal for my birthday. Not quite the investment. Like maybe I'll buy myself a Lululemon purse or something. But this just happened to work out. So that's my birthday present to myself. And it's going to just be part of the family. And he's so cute, man. And I had a really hard time figuring out his name. First, he was going to be Jimmy, because Jimmy is something that Chad made up like when my 21-year-old was like 2. And he would tell him the stories before bed about this invisible Jimmy guy and have adventures with Jimmy, and everyone, like, Chad calls everyone Jimmy, and I'm like, okay, we need to have other dog's name is Jake. So I'm like, how about Jake and Jimmy? That'd be cute. But he didn't look like a Jimmy. He just didn't look like one. So he didn't look like, you know, other names what I thought were Toby. I wanted to call him James Halpert from The Office, actually, but he doesn't look like a James Halpert. So then I thought Toby, and I'm like, well, nobody likes Toby on The Office, right? He's like a drip. No one likes him, so I can't call my dog Toby. Plus, it was popular. I didn't want a name that was I wanted a different name. So I meditated the night before. I'm like, okay, he doesn't look like a Jimmy, so please give me the name of this dog. And I can't remember, I think I got it in meditation, but I fell asleep. And then the next morning I kept hearing the song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed. I'm like, oh my God, he looks like he's the color of a reindeer. I'm just going to call him Rudolph, but we're going to call him Rudy for short. So that's how Rudy came to be very quickly. He's like the cutest thing, man. So if you want to know what Rudy looks like and you don't follow me on Instagram, you need to go over there to my stories and see pictures of Rudy, the Rudolph, the cutest little dog ever. So manifesting can be a little bit tricky with that one because, like, well, you went and got the dog, you paid money for the dog, no one brought you the dog. Like, when I manifested the Jeep, they called me. Like, the company I had previously bought another vehicle from called me out of the blue and said, hey, you're up for a new car or renewal, whatever the financing. Do you want a new car? And I said, do you have any Jeeps? And they're like, yes, we do. And I was like, okay. And then went through the process and they drove the Jeep to me. So I never went looking for the Jeep. So that could be the difference. However, with this overwhelming feeling of like, I really need to look online, and I feel like the dog is getting closer and was inspired. Like something moved through me to be like, you need to look now. Now's the chance. It was like, bam, done, right? So it was very easy. It was a very easy process. So that's how you know it's all good. All right, so that is the manifesting story of Rudy. And I feel like he has, I want to call him like Buddy. I want to call him like Arnie. Like I feel like he has like multiple names that he could be called. Like, but anyways, we've settled on Rudy. So hopefully that sticks. But like manifesting doesn't have to be a thing. It doesn't have to be a material thing, right? Like I talk about the Jeep. It doesn't. I was watching a TikTok and Mel Robbins was speaking. They do little clips about her sometimes, and she was like, everyone's vision board has like a new car and a trip and some money and what else did she say? $100 million house, and you're sitting in your parents' bedroom or your parents' house in your own basement, apartment, whatever. And that's fine, but those things seem very far away, right? There's a big gap between where you are and where this $100 million. Who has $100 million house? I don't know. That's a really big number. How about $1 million house? No, wait, that's a normal house right now. 5 million? I forget what you said. 10 million? I don't know. It's like it's so far away, and it's really, there's a big gap there between like where you're at. So it's going to take a longer time, right? So it doesn't have to be, obviously, it doesn't have to be a materialistic thing, because I feel like what we're going through right now in the collective is like getting away from materialistic things. Like, we're taught to want the fancy car. We're taught that we need the big house. You know, like we live in a big house, and I would rather have a smaller, older house. Like, I can't make this house. I mean, I'm grateful for this house because we were going to be homeless, but like, it's not cozy. I can't make it cozy no matter what I do. You know what I mean? So, it's not the thing that you live in. It's the feeling. It's the feeling that you want. We don't want the things. We don't want, okay, I'll just tell you, I have a Mercedes SUV on there. I want a white one. Like, I guess I don't, but you know, I don't know. I'm sitting here, I'm like, do I really want that? Do I really care about that? You know, and vision boards can be for good for a lot of things, but also it can be like you have to question things. Like, well, maybe I want the feeling of that. I want not the car, but I want the feeling of the dog. You know, not the dog, but the feeling that it brings me is joy and happiness and loving something else. You know, we want the feeling of freedom, which is attached to the money. So that's why when you're trying to manifest and you're harnessing all of your energy, that's why they tell you to feel it as if it's already happened, because you want that emotion. It's not the things, it's the emotion. And so what we're going through right now, I feel like, is to get away from that, of being like, you know, we don't want to have these things. We don't want to have goals for like these luxurious homes. I really, if someone said, here's like I guess $100 million house, I'm just making that up. I'd be like, no, I don't think so. I would like the freedom. I want to be able to travel whenever I want, and not have to think twice about it. I want to be in a cozy home with my family, with my dogs and my cats, and you know, it's the feeling of home, right? So there's a difference, and it's not like I want this big fancy Christmas. It's like the feeling that Christmas gives you, right? So it's really important to differentiate or recognize that what you're manifesting that word could be more like you want to feel it. And ironically, in order to receive these things, you have to focus all of your feelings and emotions and energy on the thing now, as if it's already happened, right? So, I mean, again, we could debate all day long if it's real or not, and why does that person have nothing, and why does that person have like $100 million house? You know, we could argue all day about that. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like being present and just, you know, if it happens, doesn't, it doesn't. But like when that spirit comes through you, like you gotta take the action. So people are like, well, I don't have the boyfriend yet. Well, you can't sit on your couch and then, or sit at the coffee shop by yourself every day and hope someone's gonna walk in and look at the door every time someone opens it, right? You have to take action. You have to go and, make effort. So so same thing with this. You can't just sit on your butt. You got to take action. But it's like the difference is with that spirit action, like that goes through you. Like it was like grab your phone. I'm like, okay, I don't know why I'm grabbing my phone. So following that very strong surge from above, and that's when the things will come to you, or they will arrive. Okay, so enough about that. Here is like your prediction for you from my big list I'm saving for the big podcast episode, year ahead forecast. By the way, speaking of year ahead forecast, thank you so much everyone who got the year ahead service, the reading. I am almost finished the first round. I'm moving on to the wait list, and then I'll be doing round 2. Like I won't be offering it. I'm going to just like finish round 2, people who have already booked. So if you're waiting for your year ahead reading, thank you so much for your patience. I promise you will get it very soon. I promise like the first 20 people will have it probably by tomorrow. I mean, I've done like 18 of them. And the wait list will be started soon. All right, here we go. Let's see, where are all right. This is about like 10 things I've got on here. Let's see, I'm trying to see which one I should pick. Okay, I'll do the last one. So I did post a TikTok about this, and people thought I was crazy, but TikTok is crazy world, so it doesn't matter what you say on there. More of a prediction, but like a feeling, a very strong knowing, maybe clairsentient, claircognizant. Would you ever watch the how there's a CUPE strike here in Ontario, and they want more money, whatever. They're arguing back and forth with the government. They're like, no, get out of here. Now they're going to strike again. But when I was watching them speak, the 2 leaders or the head honchos of CUPE or whoever's speaking on the news, I was like, those guys real? Are they real? So for me, the feeling is it's scripted. Everything is scripted. Like everything is planned out. Like I keep looking at, so there's a curtain on the door in my office right now, and I'm like, there's like a curtain, it's like, what's behind the curtain? And I feel like this is scripted or planned. And I actually feel like they could be being paid. I know it sounds crazy, paid, or they're actors. Just the way they were behaving, I'm like, are those people even real? Like, I'm not saying like, because I used to be a support worker. I used to be ECE. So I know, I'm not saying we definitely deserve better experiences in the school system. And one of the reasons why I quit is because it was, it just wasn't fair. We never got prep time. We had to go in this last week of summer to prep the room with our co-teachers, but we didn't get paid. They did. So you know what I mean? So there are a lot of things. I don't want to get into that, but like there's a bigger picture here. And you guys, I always talk about the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture here? Well, the bigger picture for me in my prophecies energy, or like prediction, psychic information, is like in the bigger world picture, universal things, is that the school system is crumbling. So this is just one of the crumbling steps. So if you think of a Jenga tower, what's happening right now where they're going to strike again, there's like another block out of the Jenga tower, and you can balance it. You're really good at pulling out which block so that it doesn't fall over, but eventually it's going to fall over. Okay. But my strong feeling was that this was all scripted. They are being paid, or they're actors. Okay. So that's one of them. That is one of them. And I'm saving them all for the episode that's coming up mid-December. So watch for that one. I hope that you will listen. Thank you so much for listening as always. It's kind of a short-ish kind of episode because I want to get back upstairs to Rudy. And Chad's like, don't you want to take your dog with you to record the podcast? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, he's getting pretty attached to me. I'm like, every animal gets attached to you. So every animal in this family loves Chad. Like, who doesn't love Chad, right? We should have Chad on the podcast. What do you think? Let me know what you think if we should have Chad on the podcast. That was a plan from a while ago, but it just never came to fruition. So, well, let's mesh that around in our brain and see what goes on. All right, so I'm gonna go have a week to myself for my birthday. I've got some things planned. Chad's taking me to my favorite place in Blue Mountain. It's gonna be a really